Captain Sensible, good to have you here at Noise 11, and good to see the news that you're coming back to Australia and New Zealand in coming months.
Yeah, it's only a brief trip, unfortunately. I don't think we're including Perth this time, which is a shame because I had the best veggie burger I've ever had in my life in Perth. It was made with tempeh, very strange stuff, but it was absolutely delicious.
I would say that most promoters should be arranging a tour around where the best veggie burgers are.
Yeah, it's all about the food these days. The old days it was about the girls and the booze, but nowadays, yeah. There you go. We're getting old.
Yeah, you've been doing some shows in 2023, and there has been a lot of Darkadelic in the last set list that I saw from the band. Is this indicative of what we will be expecting when you come down to Australia?
I'd be interested to hear what people think. By the time we down your way, the album will have been out for a while. So if it's well appreciated down there, then we'll stick some in the set. Yeah. It's rejuvenated our set list in Europe anyway, and the new songs are quite fun to play. It's a bit of a workout actually, because some of them are quite involved.
Yeah, that show you did in London in April with pretty much most of the album, was that to road test the songs? Was that sort of a research exercise to see which songs work best?
No, we just thought we'd throw the majority of the album in the set list because we enjoy playing them, and yeah, they just work live. You know, well, there's plenty of old faves in there as well. So yeah, because we play for an hour and a half, so. Yeah, something for everyone, really. Yeah,
and going back to New Rose, 1976, and that was the year the band formed. You went from, a couple of kids all getting together, forming a punk band, to having a song out very, very quickly. And isn't it interesting that all these years later, that's still the song that ends the set?
Yeah, we got it right first go. Yeah, so. But that was the song that recruited me to the band in the first place. So Brian actually played it to me in his he had a basement flat in North London, and he played me that song on an acoustic guitar, you know, and even, you know, that style, I knew it was, you know, a classic ready to go, and I said, yes, I'm in. So, yeah, at that point I joined the band and my life changed.
Well, it changed again a couple of years later, didn't it? Because you were already putting out your first solo record, Jet Boy, Jet Girl, 1978. At a time, the word hiatus was used for the Damned. Hiatus is a word that I've came to think the real meaning of is it's just a fancy word for breaking up, but we don't know it.
Yeah, we've had a few of them in our career. You know, that's what you would expect, really, with a bunch of volatile people like, you know, myself, Rat Scabies, Brian James, and Dave. We're all like sort of capable of fronting a band ourselves, I guess. So there's always going to be bust-ups.
Yeah. I'm old enough to have been on the radio when your solo hits were happening in Australia, Happy Talk and What. You know, back in must have been around 1982, 83. That were some fun times. I mean, that came from nowhere and hit the Australian charts. But yeah, you haven't had a solo record since 1996. Why?
The Damned takes up most of my time, to be quite honest, and you know, it's very fulfilling to stand up on stage with a nice guitar and a loud amplifier, and you know, and someone like Dave Panian singing songs that you've written. It's just, you know, I'm very lucky, to be quite honest. I mean, I could go out and do stuff on my own, but I mean, record labels aren't queuing up to put me in a studio, to be quite honest. I mean, I was described at the time when I was having those hits as Britain's most unlikely pop star, and it's a fair cop, really, because you know, I didn't really ever play the game. I did it all in a kind of punk rock style. So I mean, I got in trouble and thrown out of, you know, TV studios and stuff like that. But you know, I got away with it most of the time.
There have been a lot of accolades for the bands over the years. It must have been a real privilege when Guns N' Roses covered one of your songs, New Rose.
Yeah, do you know, the funny thing is I never actually heard it. I had so little interest Yeah, I wasn't really a fan, you know. I mean, I couldn't get past the name. It's just, you know, Guns and Roses. Yeah, okay. The Guns because they're horrible, aggressive killer types, you know, and Roses because, you know, they got their hearts in the right place when they're bumping people off, you know. They say, oh, that's still a Vista, babe. Oh, I don't know what, you know, it just didn't make sense to me. Guns were, sorry,
Hey, Americans, go figure.
Well, yeah. I mean, the golden period for rock music really was the late '60s, early '70s, when America didn't have an answer to the stuff that the rest of us were making. You know, Deep Purple, Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, all this stuff. What did they have? Not much.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the Offspring smash it up then?
Yes, I did. I did make a point of going to see that film, and I was in a cinema watching when Robin steals the Batmobile. Yeah, because I could hear the sound of cash registers. Because I wrote that sod.
That would have been fun then. There's also the Young Ones in your history. Tell me about the day you went in to do a scene in the Young Ones. That must have been a wonderful day.
Well, they had a program in the series that featured vampires, so you know, you can hear the producer say, right, call for the dam, get the dam down. All right. So we did that, and it was the great thing about that is it's the TV show's recorded kind of live, you know. And so you stand there with the guitars around your neck. You know, you're watching them perform the TV show in front of you, and then, you know, somebody says, "Oh, the only thing that can save us now is some daft punk group," and then we start twanging away. But yeah, it's really fun to do. And we went down a curry house afterwards, and got extremely drunk and got thrown out. Actually, we all got thrown out of the curry house. So as you'd expect, a punk group and the Young Ones, you know, put them together, it's going to be chaos, isn't it?
That's fantastic. Will there ever be a movie about the Damned? You know, like we had the Sex Pistols miniseries recently, and then there was the one on Motley Crue. Has anyone approached you about making a movie about your story?
Well, funny you should say it, because somebody did make a film about us, but it wasn't very good, so nobody really knows about it. It was called "Don't You Wish That We Were Dead," which is a lyric from one of our tunes. But no, it was a really poor film that just ticked off. You know, then they did this and they did that, and then he joined, then he left, then blah blah blah, and it just drones on like that. I actually walked out about halfway through. It was so boring, and I was in the film, so you know, that's how bad it was. I'm sure that there's a great film in us, and if there's any, you know, any producers out there who wants to throw some money at that project, then, you know, we're there. I mean, it's a good idea. There's a great film in this band, you know. There's all sorts of crazy stories, and yeah, just the very fact that now we're of a ripe old age, and you know, we have to go on stage every night, you know, and perform this material from like sort of, you know, an eternity ago, and recreate it to a high standard of kind of adrenaline fueled kind of crazy punk. Yeah, you know, I'm 69 years old, so I mean, there's a film there somewhere.
It's amazing we've made it this far, huh?
Yeah, it is. Well, I wouldn't have put money on the original lineup of the Damned still all being alive 40, 50 years on. Yeah, that's remarkable, considering we were on auto-destruct pretty much. I mean, every stupid thing we could possibly do, we did, and I mean, we were. I was a raving drunk, I have to admit.
When you put it into perspective that here we are in 2023, this band formed in 1976, if you went back that many years to who was around in the time that you started, you'd be back in the 1920s with Al Jolson.
Good grief. Thank you for that. Mammy. Yeah.
Maybe you need to put Mammy into the set.
I don't think it's allowed anymore, actually.
Yeah, well, I would be particularly happy if there was What and Happy Talk, or What or Happy Talk when we got to Australia.
Well, public demand. There you go.
Public demand.
All I need is one person to one person to shout it out, and then I will actually play those horrible tunes. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll stand down the front and heckle then.
Yeah. Because I can just say to Dave, look, it wasn't my idea. It was that chap down there.
Yeah, the twat with the beer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Captain Sensible. Good to have you here at Noise 11. Looking forward to seeing you in Australia, and New Zealand people looking forward to seeing you over there as well soon.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thanks for inviting us.